Are you feeling the sting of your adult child's resentment towards your parenting? It is difficult. It's a tough pill to swallow, as they say, knowing that choices that were made with love might not be seen that way. And so in this video, we dive in deep into that and understand some of the reasons why they may feel this way. And we'll unpack some of this together. There's so many reasons why, but I'm going to choose the top ones that I see most often in my clients and things that I dealt with myself. So number one is helicopter parenting. You've all heard of that, right? Maybe you were that helicopter parent. Usually helicopter parenting comes out of love and concern, right? But I know that a lot of you can relate to this because being overly involved as a parent, it does stifle their ability to make independent decisions, and which many times I've seen can lead to resentment because as they struggle with living their own life, sometimes they turn back and think, well, I never had the opportunity to make those decisions, make choices. Mom or parents never allowed me to make decisions, right? And many times, they say they don't know how. But that can be kind of a farce in my opinion as well. That's a lot of blame instead of taking responsibility. But don't get me wrong, it can go the other way too, where they don't like the fact that you did let them make decisions, right? It can go either way. All of these can go either way. It depends what perspective you're looking at. And your child has the right to their perspective as do you. So an example of this would be monitoring, every aspect of their life, whether it's homework, social things with friends. But as a parent who's well-intended, the purpose of that was protection. And nowadays, I think I would probably be even more protective than I was back then in that sense because we live in a crazy world. But that was me. And what happens is the child feels like they had no freedom, no space, and that can lead to this strained relationship. Again, something that can be worked through. It just has to be two willing participants. So number two is also something I see a lot is faith and religious upbringing. Many of you know I'm a Christian, but regardless of your faith or whatever religious upbringing you've had, you probably, more than likely, you shared your faith with your children, right? So that's just how they grew up. So some children resent that. Some children resent having a specific religion imposed on them without their personal choice. Well, again, this is done out of love. This is many times done out of the truth. But it can lead to feelings of alienation from both the faith and the parent, right? The parent that enforced it. So if you hear a lot about this, I know you probably do hear about it. I know I do. The kids who are deconstructing their faith as if it never happened. So I do believe that faith is an individual path. And the stronger you are in your faith, I think people realize that you realize you're raised in a way, whatever way your parents thought best, because that was their faith. But then as you grow up, it's your decision. And your relationship with the Lord is a personal one, and nobody can do that for you. And so we can encourage our kids in our faith, but ultimately it is up to them as they grow. So for those of you moms that I have never talked to before and you are tired of walking this journey by yourself and you are looking for coaching, if you are ready for that, there's a link below called Discovery Call. You can click on that, and that is a 30-minute consultation for me to be able to share more about how I could help you. All right, and number three is being too strict. Sometimes we call this the drill sergeant parent. However, there is excessiveness that may have happened as well. Excessively strict rules can stop their development, even like their social development. It can contribute to rebellion. So if, for example, there were, strict curfews, limited social interactions because you wanted to keep them safe, but the child feels like they missed out. So then they turn and resent the mother for her restrictions. So can I just say, having a child does not come with a manual. I think everyone will agree with that here. It just doesn't. And each child is different. You could parent the children the same way, and they're going to have different reactions to how you parented. So because there is a flip side to this, where if you're not strict enough or you have a lack of boundaries, that can leave them feeling neglected and unprepared for life. So which is it? It's balance. And how many times have we tried to do different than our parents did? We carry forward the things we loved about our childhood and the things we loved that our parents did, and then we totally flip and do the opposite on the things we didn't like. Because I think that's just a generational thing that we all do. I think that's normal. I think we all do that, and that's fine. But there is balance. There is, like I said, you can raise the children the same. They're going to have different perspectives. They're going to have different issues about what you did. Until they become children, have children of their own that they're having to raise, and they're starting to experience some of these things themselves. Some of them may not see it until then. I hope it doesn't take that long. Number 4 is divorce and its impact. And we've talked about this in a previous video, so if you need that, you can check out other divorce videos. But children feel caught in the middle during a divorce, which can lead to resentment towards one or both of the parents, especially if it's a messy divorce. And also, if both parents were speaking negatively about each other, which obviously I don't recommend, they're going to feel torn between them and resentful for emotional turmoil that it caused them in their own life. Because going through divorce is hard for kids. Sometimes it's needed. Sometimes it's not. It's a personal decision. I'm not here to judge you. What I hear too often, though, is that you shouldn't have gotten a divorce, or you should have gotten a divorce earlier. Those are adult decisions. And even adult children now need to realize that their parents had to make the best decision that they could at the time. Those are adult decisions. Those weren't child decisions to make. And so we can't turn the clock back. So try not to beat yourself up over that, because those are decisions we made, and the worst thing we can do is not make a decision. You made decisions. They may be right or wrong. You may have liked them. You may have not. You may have regret over some. But I'm going to have some additional points in future videos on this, because there is just so much to unpack on this. And there's a lot of pain, like I said, that comes along with feeling like your child resents you. And maybe they do right now. But I don't ever want you to give up hope that that can change. Because many times, and I share this a lot with the moms that I serve, but many times the realization that your child will have about the situation, it usually doesn't come from you. Or maybe even family. It's going to come from someone in their world outside of you who's having a conversation with them, or who speaks truth and life into them. And that's how things change. They have this epiphany, right? They have, whether it's through another person or just themselves or life situation. I see it over and over and over again. So as your children grow and mature, they come back to realization that you're mom. You're human too, and we're all flawed, and we're doing the best we can. Your job right now is to take care of you the best possible way you can. God bless.